Today on The Young and the Restless, Sharon makes a difficult decision. Kyle reports Phyllis and Summer, and Diane pushes for a promotion. At the GCAC, Sally opens her door to Nick and says, "Well, hello, stranger." Nick says he's had his hands full with something, but it's not as fun as being there with her. He asks how baby girl is, and she says things could be better. She asks what he knows about preeclampsia. Nick says, a lot, as he's been down this road before, unfortunately. Sally assures she doesn't have it yet and will enroll in yoga classes. She has a headache and reveals that the doctor told her it could be a side effect of her medication. Nick asks, "What do you need from me?" Sally says that him being there makes her feel better. "You're like magic." Nick wishes that were true in other parts of his life. She wonders what he was thinking about before. Nick says he was weighing whether or not it would stress her out more knowing, or not knowing. Sally asks him to put all his cards on the table. Nick tells her that years ago, he and Sharon put away a very bad man, but now he's back. At Sharon's place, Faith realizes her mother is baking and cleaning to distract herself. Sharon asks how her roommates are doing. Faith says they're completely freaked out for her and worried about her mom. Sharon assures her daughter they'll sort this out. Just then, they startle when someone pounds on the door and tries to get in. Arming themselves with crooked mallets, Sharon and Faith approach the door warily, until Mariah calls out that she forgot her key. She comes in and jokes about interrupting their croquet match before apologizing. She knows Cameron's still out there. Sharon announces that she has to apologize for what she's about to say. "Faith, I think it's time you leave." At Crimson Lights, Summer meets Chance and thanks him for coming. He's assuming this is about Phyllis. She asks if he's heard anything yet. Chance says she'll be the third or fourth person to know if they find her mom. Summer wants to know what it would take to call off the APB. Chance says she'd have to turn herself in. Summer reminds him she was in the position of kill or be killed. Chance thinks Summer got lucky. Summer fumes that if Stark had killed Phyllis, no one would have even looked for her. She got lucky because her mom was smart enough to save herself. A woman like that who can save herself when no one else is going to doesn't deserve to come back to a prison cell. In her suite, Phyllis leaves Supergirl a voicemail to call her back. Even if it's bad news, she disconnects and worries that now that Kyle knows her location, her future is in his hands. At the Abbott mansion, Kyle comes upon Jack and Diane planning their wedding. Diane recalls her son's romantic vow renewal ceremony. It was so romantic. She tells Kyle that they want Harrison to be their ring bearer. Kyle advises them to do the opposite of what he and Summer did. Their vow renewal was cursed. Jack asks what's gotten into him. Diane wonders if Summer is still sleeping in the pool house. Kyle says they have a lot going on and he doesn't want to bring them down. Diane feels this is all because of Phyllis, who is out there somewhere. Kyle gets up and says he has to go to work. Diane hugs him and he leaves. At Sharon's place, Faith is upset that her mother wants her to leave. She can't abandon her. Sharon says Cameron knows who she is and what she means to her. He's evil enough to use that against her. Mariah tells Faith that their mom will be stronger knowing she's safe. Faith protests, "You won't because you'll be alone." They don't have Ree anymore and Mariah's busy with the baby. Sharon assures Faith she'll be fine. She has Nick, her grandparents, and the security team. Faith argues he already got past them. Sharon asks her daughter, "Do this for me." Faith agrees to go, but she's not happy about it. If she texts, she wants answers, or she'll be calling emergency numbers and on the next plane back. As soon as the psycho is behind bars, she'll return. They embrace. At Crimson Lights, Summer and Chance keep debating Phyllis's case. Chance wants to hear the defense from Phyllis herself and warns that there's no evidence to back up her side of the story. Summer just wants her to come home. Chance warns that any actions she takes could lead to her being charged as an accessory. Summer complains that Christine has a vendetta against her mom. Chance argues that this case has nothing to do with personal grievances. Summer laughs, "Are you new here?" Chance nods, "Okay, so you don't think she can be fair?" Summer thinks that Christine has an opportunity to publicly humiliate her mom. She's asking Chance as a friend, "Is there anything you can do?" In Sally's suite, Nick has told her about his visit to Cameron's room. She tears up over the cat and his wounded hand. "It's just the saddest thing I've ever heard. What a monster." Nick warns Sally if she sees him to run and call the police. "You don't talk to him or even catch him looking at you." Sally asks what he looks like. Nick shows her Cameron's photo. Sally gasps, "Oh my God, I know him." Nick asks, "You saw him?" Sally says, "In the park." "Oh my God." Nick asks if Cameron made her feel threatened. Sally says he couldn't have been nicer. "He was like 2 feet away from me." Nick wants to know everything. Sally describes how he came up to her when she had double vision. He stayed with her while she made calls. He was nice. Nick fumes, "He's not nice, Sally. He's dangerous as hell." Sally doesn't think he could possibly know they're together. Nick warns he's thorough and is making his way into Sharon's inner circle. Sally argues that the run-in in the park had to have been a coincidence. "He had no idea who I was," she insists. Nick grunts that they need to make sure it stays that way. At the Abbott house, Diane worries there's more going on with Kyle and Summer than they realize. Jack warns they have other problems to deal with as well. After he's filled her in, Diane can't believe that Ashley is rushing to marry Tucker as part of a scheme to take over Jabot. She wonders if she should look for another job. Jack assures her she's not going anywhere. Diane wonders if this is all part of Tucker's long game, something he's been planning for months or years even. Jack says the bigger question is, how do we stop them? In the park, Maria hears someone come up behind her and hollers that she kickboxes and knows how to use her pepper spray. Kyle asks, at the same time, "I'm scared." He wonders what the warning was for and if everything is okay. Maria tries to play it off. Kyle complains that his wife has turned into a woman with a heart of stone. Maria says grief is rough. Kyle says that's true, but Summer stopped grieving a long time ago. He asks if she can keep a secret. Mariah replies, "You know I can't keep a secret." Kyle says she'll have to keep this one. What he does next will change the course of his and Summer's lives. In Phyllis's suite, Summer warns her mother that everything is about to hit the fan. Phyllis guesses she told Kyle the whole truth. Summer didn't have any choice. She cries that it was horrible. "He's right though. I chose you over everyone." Phyllis is sick about this and wants to fix it. "This is all my fault." Summer agrees, but they don't have time for that right now. Kyle is furious. "Mom, you're not safe here, we need to leave." In Sally's suite, Nick tells her he has to go check on Sharon and Faith. Sally promises to be careful and use her voice assistant to keep him on speed dial. Nick warns if she sees Cameron again, she must treat him like poison. Sally asks him not to get into any more fistfights. Nick assures he's called in backup. Cameron Kirsten's time is up. In the park, Kyle says, "That's what's been going on. What do you think I should do?" Mariah feels on the spot. If she tells him the truth, it could put their friendship at risk. She's tried very hard to see the good in Summer. That's what friends do, but she doesn't trust her and never has. "I don't know if I ever will." Kyle laments that they were so happy in Italy. Mariah reminds him she's now surrounded by people who encourage her bad behavior. "She chose her mother over you, Kyle." She finds what Summer did to be reprehensible. She loves him enough to tell him what's in her heart. Unlike his wife. At the GCAC bar, Nick tells Adam, "I hear you had an eventful few hours." Adam says yes and reveals he's bought a blood pressure monitor for Sally just to be safe. Nick tells him, "Good thinking." Adam replies, "My girl deserves the best." He's talking about the baby. Nick gets it and assures him he didn't overstep. Before Adam can walk away, Nick tells him he has a favor to ask. "I need you to look out for Sally for me." In the park, Maria reiterates that Summer chose her mother over Kyle. The plotting and scheming are great in marketing but awful when it's directed at friends and family. Kyle sighs. He thought he knew what Summer was capable of. Maria points out they wouldn't be there if Summer hadn't broken his heart. She wants to do an intervention on him. If he's going to put up with the lying and the manipulation, she's going to have to figure out a way not to be friends with him. He asks, "Are you serious?" She says yes, then no. She is a parent now and can't be around the chaos. Kyle reminds her Summer is Harrison's mother. Maria opines that if Phyllis and Summer can do what they did, they're dangerous. Kyle asks, "What am I supposed to do, Mariah?" She says, "You know, Kyle. And I am so sorry." More. How Cameron will eliminate Nick. At the GTAC bar, Adam's been updated on Cameron's return. He fumes. "I don't even understand why they would let this guy back on the streets." Nick says they're dealing with it. But until he's no longer a threat. Adam nods. I will look out for Sally and the baby. Nick appreciates it and asks his brother to keep him posted if there are any problems. Adam complains about Nick bringing this chaos to Sally's door, which is the last thing she needs. Nick reminds him that they don't even know if Cameron knows who she is or if she figures into his plans. But there's no harm in being careful, right? Adam finds it telling that during this time of crisis, he's choosing to focus on Sharon and not Sally. Nick says they're done and walks out. In Phyllis's suite, Summer warns her mother there's no reason that Kyle wouldn't go to the police at this point. Phyllis wonders what her chances are of getting caught. Summer says she spoke to Chance. Phyllis doesn't know whether to be proud or cry. Summer asks, "Are you ready to run?" Phyllis has been hoping for the best all this time, but maybe she should prepare for the worst. Maybe she should let Chance arrest her. In Crimson Lights, Kyle tells Chance he's seen Phyllis and he knows where she is. Follow me. In Phyllis's suite, Summer tells her mother to grab her stuff. You're not turning myself in. Phyllis proposes that she call Chance and turn herself in, and she says Summer fought her every step of the way. She cries, I want you to have your life back. You deserve to have your life back. Summer sizes her up as she says, let's do this. At the Abbott mansion, Jack tells Diane if there's any way to cut off Ashley's coup attempt, he'll do it. Diane gawps, and her biggest fear is that I'll have a more powerful role at Jabot. She smiles. Then, why don't we scare the hell out of her? Promote me. This way they can show her that they're leveling the playing field. They want peace but are prepared for war. In Sally's suite, Adam tells her he brought a blood pressure monitor. She teases that it's the worst gift ever. Adam jokes that the baby will get all the good ones. Sally asks, shouldn't you be somewhere doing something? Adam is right where he needs to be. Sally wonders if someone suggested he keep a watchful eye on her. Adam says if he and Nick are working together, you know it's for a good cause. At Sharon's place, Nick thinks it's for the best that Faith is leaving. He reveals that he tracked Cameron down at the athletic club. She glances at his hand and asks what happened. Nick just warned him, but he's glad that Faith is taking off in case the dirtbag decides to press his luck. Chance and Kyle hammer on the door to Phyllis's suite, and when there's no answer, they enter. Chance searches the empty suite as Kyle insists that she was there. Somebody tipped her off and helped her take off in a hurry. My wife. If you find Summer, you'll find Phyllis.